The 2018 World Cup is just around the corner, so Talksport.com are trawling through the archives to relive past tournaments. Today we are taking a look at the 1990 edition, won by West Germany and Italy. Italia, 90 is a tournament with a cult legacy, despite the largely dreadful football on display and the dirty approach to the game shown by a number of teams. In fact, the average goals per game of 2.21 is a record low that still stands, and the 16 red cards shown was the highest of any previous World Cup finals. Nonetheless, there were highlights. England had a team fans could be proud of. Toto Schillaci came from obscurity to finish the tournament as top scorer and best player, and Roger Milla showed off his fine goal-scoring skills and his even better talent on the dance floor. Schillaci was the star player in Italy, but who else performed to the best of their abilities during the finals? The World Cup All-Star team is named to remember the best performers, and you can see who is selected below. 1990 FIFA World Cup hosts, Italy champions, West Germany runners-up, Argentina 3rd place, Italy 4th place, England top scorer, Salvatore Schillaci, Italy, 6 goals best player, Salvatore Schillaci, Italy, best young player, Roberto Prosinecki, Yugoslavia, 1990 World Cup All-Star team goalkeeper, Sergio Goycochea, Argentina. Goycochea's story is a fascinating one. He started the tournament as the reserve goalkeeper to Neri Pumpido and barely started, even for his club. When Pumpido was injured in Argentina's second group game against the Soviet Union, Goycochea got his big break. He was the hero in the quarterfinal and semi-final penalty shootout victories against Yugoslavia and Italy, making a name for himself as a penalty-saving specialist. Ironically, it was a spot kick that condemned Argentina to defeat in the final against Germany, and he so nearly saved that one as well. Defense, Paolo Maldini, Italy. The legendary Italian holds the record for most minutes played in World Cup matches with 2,216, and this is where it all began. Making his World Cup debut, then 21-year-old Maldini appeared in all 7 Italy matches, starring in a defense that kept a World Cup record 5 consecutive clean sheets. Argentina were the team to eventually bring 518 goalless minutes to an end by equalizing in the semi-final. Defense, Franco Baresi, Italy, one of the greatest defenders of all time, surely? He ranked 19th in World Soccer Magazine's 100 Greatest Players of the 20th Century. With Milan, where he spent all 20 years of his glorious career, he won 3 Champions Leagues and 6 Serie A's. He also has a World Cup winner's medal, from 1982, even though he didn't play a single game. Italia, 90 was where he really made a name for himself. His performances, much like Maldini's, have come to characterize an entire brand of defending. Baresi formed one of the most formidable defenses of all time, both with the Azzurri and Milan. He had it all, despite only being 5 feet 7 inches. Defense, Andreas Brehme, West Germany, the only man ever to score penalties with both feet at a World Cup. And one of them was the decisive goal in the 1990 World Cup final, which he took with his right foot. 4 years earlier, he scored in the victorious penalty shootout against Mexico in the 1986 World Cup quarterfinal with his left foot. England fans will not have fond memories of Brehme, the man who scored that jammy deflected free kick in the 1990 semi-final and, obviously, made no mistake in the ensuing shootout. Midfield, Paul Gascoigne, England, Gaz's tears, written in English folklore as one of the most iconic World Cup moments. The funny thing is, they ended up being for nothing. Having already received a booking in England's 1-0 victory over Belgium in the second round, Gascoigne saw yellow in the infamous semi-final against West Germany, meaning he would miss the final if England got there. He instantly became a national treasure. But crying doesn't get you in the World Cup All-Star team, and it's worth remembering that Gaza was exceptional in Italy. On his day, one of the best this country has ever produced. Midfield, Lothar Matthäus, West Germany. Diego Maradona described him as his greatest ever rival, which makes Matthäus pretty special. He was at the peak of his powers in 1990, winning the Ballon d'Or. The box-to-box midfielder is the most capped German player of all time and also holds the record for the most World Cup matches played, 25. He captained West Germany to victory against Maradona's Argentina in the final, avenging the 1986 defeat, and immortalized himself by lifting the trophy shortly before German reunification months later. Midfield, Dragan Stojkovic, Yugoslavia, widely considered one of the greatest players in the history of Yugoslavian and Serbian football. The highlight of a career blighted by chronic injuries was undoubtedly Italia, 90. He carried Yugoslavia to the quarter-finals after scoring both goals in their 2-1 victory over Spain in the last 16. But he was one of 3 Yugoslavs to miss in the penalty shootout defeat to world champions Argentina in the quarter-final. Nonetheless, a worthy member of the World Cup All-Star team. Midfield, Diego Maradona, Argentina. To some, the best player ever, Pelé is the only rival Maradona has for that title. The Argentina legend was El Pipe d'Oro, the Golden Boy. He dragged Napoli to numerous honors during his time in Italy, and turned a good Argentina side into World Cup winners in 1986. He played at 3 other finals tournaments, helping his country to the final in 1990, and was the first player to set the world transfer record twice. In total, Maradona played 91 times for Argentina and scored 34 goals. 2 of those goals, perhaps the 2 most famous, came against England at Mexico, 86. He beat Peter Shilton with the hand of God to hand Argentina the lead, then scored the goal of the century just 4 minutes later. Forward, Salvatore Schillaci, Italy, the surprise star of Italia, 90. He came on as a substitute in Italy's first 2 games and went on to score 6 goals in the tournament, winning the Golden Boot and the Golden Ball as the best player ahead of Matthäus and Maradona. Schillaci put the hosts in front in their semi-final against Argentina, but when the game went to penalties, he controversially refused to take one as his team were eliminated. Forward, Jurgen Klinsmann, West Germany. Klinsmann scored in all 6 major tournaments he participated in, from Euro 1988 to the 1998 World Cup, and 1990 saw one of the most complete performances from any striker at a World Cup. In the last 16, West Germany were staring elimination in the face after Rudi Völler was sent off in the 22nd minute against the Netherlands. Klinsmann was forced to play as a lone striker, but delivered an incredible performance in which he occupied the entire Dutch defense and scored the opening goal. But many remember him for what was perceived to be a dive in the final, which saw Argentina's Pedro Monzon sent off. Forward, Roger Milla, Cameroon. Milla's rise to stardom came late. At 38 years old, he became one of the first major African stars on the international stage by guiding Cameroon to the 1990 World Cup quarter-finals. He scored 4 goals as his nation became the first African team to reach that stage of the competition. Most importantly, he popularized the celebration in which he danced around the corner flag, which has lived on ever since. 4 years later, he would become the oldest ever goal scorer at the World Cup, by scoring against Russia as a 42-year-old. TalkSport is your home of the 2018 World Cup. Tune in all throughout the summer to hear live commentary of every game, and visit TalkSport.com for expert views and analysis of the big games and key moments from Russia.